In many parts of the country, sand mounds are being used to overcome natural site limitations for on-site wastewater systems. Sites that have seasonally saturated soils at a shallow depth, a shallow soil mantle over bedrock, or slowly permeable native soils are not compatible with normal methods of drainfield construction using below-the-surface excavations. These types of soils tend to clog quickly with the development of an organic biomat and dramatically limit the longevity of the system. To overcome these limitations decades ago, the University of Wisconsin and others experimented with elevating on-site dispersal systems above the natural ground surface in an imported mound of sand. When systems are elevated in a raised bed configuration like this, the natural limitations of difficult sites can be overcome. The mound designs were largely successful, making it possible to install on-site systems on difficult sites. A mound configuration as it is widely used is depicted in this typical cross-section shown. The mound, built as shown, overcomes several site limitations by 1. Elevating the infiltrative surface above the natural ground surface to keep it dry and aerobic. 2. Treating and filtering the applied septic tank effluent through the fill sand so that it is well treated when it encounters the native soil below. Experience has shown that the filtered wastewater effluent will be more readily absorbed into difficult, slowly permeable soil than raw septic tank effluent. 3. The treated and filtered wastewater via the imported sand reduces reliance upon the imperfect native soil conditions to do the treatment. And 4. The very configuration of the mound spreads the treated and filtered wastewater out over a much larger area of the native soil at the basal area interface. The distribution method in the best mound designs utilize a small diameter pipe network with orifices and a pump. This is called a low-pressure pipe, LPP, dispersal system to achieve equal distribution. There are numerous advantages to the use of LPP dispersal to achieve equal distribution of the wastewater over the entire mound from the very start. But these mounds are difficult and expensive to build. 3 types of aggregate materials are normally used, and in some areas, these materials are rare and have to be trucked long distances. Large equipment is often needed to move and place these materials. The entire mound construction process is cumbersome, labor-intensive, and lengthy. But the recent development of Verti-Grid, a vertical sidewall dispersal system, has simplified mound construction. In the 1960s, extensive research done at the University of California, Berkeley, demonstrated and concluded that the way to prevent the failure of septic tank percolation systems was to base the dispersal of septic tank effluent in soils by designing systems to utilize the sidewalls of excavations rather than the bottom area. The recommendation was to use narrow trenches rather than wider beds or wide trenches. The practical difficulty of implementing this practice at the time was the lack of any dispersal media other than stone. It was impossible to excavate a narrow trench and fill it with stone without knocking spoils in with the stone, filling the voids, and compromising the porosity. Being aware of this California research and seeking a better distribution method to improve the way soil dispersal systems perform, a consulting engineer from Michigan, Larry Stevens, developed the product called Verti-Grid. It is a modular, pre-manufactured dispersal product that can be installed in as little as a 4-inch to 6-inch wide trench and disperses wastewater using the trench sidewalls and the capillary attraction of the soil. So, how can this dispersal product be used to improve sand mound design and construction? First, only one type of sand is necessary to build mounds. The stone can be replaced by the Verti-Grid, and the coarser sand does not need to be used. It was only there before to provide a very permeable infiltrative surface below the stone in traditional mound designs. In fact, the coarser sand is actually too permeable against the sides of the Verti-Grid because it does not have strong capillary attraction and does not hold a trench well. Only the fine sand material is needed, resulting in a material cost savings. The finer sand material will hold a narrow trench open better and wick the water away in all directions from the trench sidewalls. The recommended construction procedure is to prepare the ground surface by roughing it up by methods used for existing mound construction, and then build the entire mound out of fine to medium sand with mild compaction using light grading equipment. The mound can actually be graded to the desired height and shaped to finished grade. Topsoil can even be placed before the Verti-Grid is installed if desired. Then, trenches are excavated in the top of the mound for the laterals using a walk-behind trenching machine. Immediately after each trench is excavated, the desired number of Verti-Grid modules are assembled end-to-end in the trench. A sweep elbow lateral flushing assembly is installed on the distal end of each lateral for maintenance purposes. These are critical to allow the periodic flushing of laterals by a maintenance provider. Once the assembled lateral is in place, the trenches can be hand backfilled with shovels and hand compacted by walking on them. The research in California stated that narrow dispersal trenches can be spaced as close as twice the trench depth. That means it is adequate to use as little as 24-inch spacing for Verti-Grid units that are 12 inches high. As shown in this illustration, that is like turning the bottom area of a stone bed on its edge to make the infiltrative surface 100% sidewall. In summary, Verti-Grid revolutionizes the way sand mounds can be constructed by eliminating stone aggregate, eliminating coarse sand aggregate, expediting and simplifying the construction process, reducing the cost of materials and labor, utilizing the benefits of sidewall dispersal. Verti-Grid is made to be used with low-pressure pipe effluent distribution. Modules come with a pre-drilled orifice near the center. When the pipe is pressurized with a pump, equal amounts of effluent are applied to the entire dispersal system. Because Verti-Grid modules perform like independent and autonomous parts of the larger system, they do not have to be installed perfectly level, again, simplifying construction. This equal distribution means that the entire mound is working for you from day one. Better Dispersal Systems also strongly recommends that the pump controls include a programmable timer for dosing the system at the desired frequency. This very affordable feature spreads out both the hydraulic and the biological loading on the system over the entire day rather than in large doses during periods of high use by homeowners. It's important to note, Verti-Grid must never be installed without LPP distribution. Using Verti-Grid modules and low-pressure distribution as the wastewater dispersal means in sand mounds should be less expensive than traditional mound construction and substantially extend the life expectancy of the Onsite system. For more information on Verti-Grid, you can visit www.betterdispersalsystems.com. If you would like to talk directly with the inventor, Larry Stevens, P.E., please give him a call at 517-749-1658 or by email larry@betterdispersalsystems.com.